Hello, this is Northwest Trains. I'm Tom, and we've got update number 24 on the Loft layout. So we'll just start off by looking at the heritage line. You can see my track maintenance train there, and I've ballasted all the scenic section of the heritage line now. Also added a bit of earth scatter, some different foliage, just where the weeds haven't been maintained properly, like you see on every railway pretty much. But been painting up the rockery as well. Not 100% happy with it yet. It's a work in progress. I've just been using different grey paints basically, just having a play with it. I'll get it to where I want it eventually. Now this all improved here, all the foliage just hides the edge of the board. I need to sort out the tops of these walls here, try and add something to that just to finish it off. But otherwise looking pretty impressive. Got the road scene, we've got our double-decker bus that I got a few weeks back, and this little plant pot here, it's acting as a sort of a roundabout here. Not much happening over here. This is still the first bit of scenery I ever done, about 7 years ago. In fact 8 years ago this June. And not much else on the main line there, just pretty much as it was last time. Now this very first bit here, that's just paper that I've scrunched up and painted, glued down and painted really. So I think it was alright at the time, but I might change it eventually. But I have added all this foliage on top just to try and improve it a little bit. I think it looks okay. And of course I'm not ballasting this section because at the moment it is only temporary. But I have added a few little fun bits and pieces, I think, out of that box of bits that I bought over Christmas, so just after Christmas. We got little toolbox here. We got crates and barrels, and see over here we got sheets of plywood, little ladder, we've got a workbench. Over here we've got bits of loco parts, a skip full of rubbish. So just tried to create a little bit of a scene really, just to improve it a little bit, because it does annoy me that I don't do any work on this, but at the same time I know it's not going to stay, hopefully, if I ever get this into the other half of the loft. As you can see, I've got another 10 foot to play with over there. We got our little double-decker BT's bus, the mogul and the siding there. We've got another little plant pot there. So probably, if the signal box is stopping there, we're going to do a little garden around it like some of the signalmen used to do. These locos are just in store here for now, we'll see why in a sec. We've got our little Andrew Barclay on the siding at the moment with 3 coaches. So moving on to the fiddle yard, it's pretty tidy for a change really. Now so Pendolino, I've just I painted the coders out of it, so they're going to have to go back, and it goes back into storage. This little bendy thing here is how I do my little running session videos, because you can just twist and turn it and position the camera anywhere on the layout without it hitting anything. Keeps it nice and steady. Just in case anyone's interested, you see them on Amazon quite a lot, quite cheap. We got our new Pullman HST, the DRS 37 set, the class 350. Got 2 of these, but that's misbehaving at the moment, so I'm going to have a look at that. We got our diesel L cars. See, this is my brother's 37 that he's loaned me. V-trains or V-trains. This is an old Hornby model I've DC fitted. It's not 100% yet, but I was trying to experiment with having cheap digital locos, so and also gives me a chance to run them rather than just sat in storage. Now moving on to the part of the layout I have done some work on really. As you can see, I finished off the ballasting. Last update I just ballasted the upper level track, but now I've added hopefully a bit of detail to improve it. Now this is just an old piece of Hornby track that's been stuck down for the last couple of years. We've never actually done anything with it, and I've not weathered this at all. This is just naturally rusted over the years. Good thing about the old steel track. not great for running on unless you keep it clean off quite often, but I think it looks really realistic. Now I had to play with a static grass. I used the Pico grass applicator, and I think it's come out quite nice. Just like a bit of overgrowth. You can see the workman here. In fact, the sleeper's managed to tip itself over. A few old sleepers, a couple of old wheels, got a couple of workmen there. So that was an old head shunt siding that used to link up here, but so obviously not now. Still got another piece there. I haven't decided whether to keep that in yet or not. Now come around through here. I think that looks quite nice and helps finish off the rockery around the tunnel mouth here. Also, you see bits of wild grass growing through like slaty sort of quarry terrain, which is what we got here, or stonework. So also put a load of foliage along the wall here to try and hide the edge a bit. I've got a bit more to do, I think, as you can still see it a little bit. Overall, I'm quite happy. See, there's a bit that I haven't filled yet and painted, but you can get the general idea from it. I think that's starting to look the part. What I need is some scale sort of pieces of slate that I can put around the floor here, just to add to it. We got all the rolling stock here while I was working on the layout. So what I want to do is another building here. So it's going to be the Narrow Gauge Railway Museum. I was thinking of putting it over here, but I'm a bit short on space, as you can see. I've put the walls in ready to do the rockery effect, which is just basically this 5mm plastic foam stuff. You get it from Hobbycraft. They used to be 4 for a sheets for a tenner, but they're about in the 4 for 12 quid last time I went in. So obviously doing all the work. Another little handy tool for removing excess scenery. This little keyboard vacuum cleaner. I think it cost me £14, again off Amazon. It's one of the best tools I ever bought there for cleaning stuff up. It's great for you put the brush attachments on as well. Great for cleaning the tops of coaches and locos. Now down here, again, I still want to create some sort of harbour scene or ex-harbour scene. So again, the idea originally was to do some sort of mining or quarry museum, bit inspired by Frelkel Quarry. So I'm thinking maybe put the building here, maybe have the abandoned mine shaft here, and we've got the wagon turntable. I was thinking of having the mine shaft entrance here and having a little abandoned track running along here, but I'm thinking there might be a road for the tourists to actually visit. So I've got to wall all this off as well to create some sort of harbour side. And while I was at the Preston show a couple of weeks ago, I got this wooden jetty from Northwestern Models. So I'm thinking about putting that either with figures on or even a piece of track, and maybe a crane going down from here so I can run along here with a small boat. So if I pan back, that'll be the entrance to the boats or the barges through there. So I think that would create a nice little scene again, sort of Porthmadog sort of inspired. The train coming out of the station and along the estuary a little bit, obviously on a much smaller scale. Now moving over here, again I think it's like ash ballast are used, because every like sidings you get locos in, they're always black, aren't they? You never see the ballast. A bit of earth scatter in there as well. I think that enhances the scene a little bit. I've got to sort out this coal stage. I'm not sure whether to leave it there or put it this side or not. And we've got a stack of timbers there. So again, it's just a case of figuring out where everything's going. I need to figure out what I want to put here as well, fill in this space. Maybe get some bits of loco or again more scrap parts. Again, this is just an old Airfix kit, a static model. I'm hoping to put a coupler on it and some weight so I can shunt it up and down the siding. So it's one of those locos you see on a heritage line that never gets restored, just sort of sits there all its life, slowly decaying. Now over here I've got to sort out a permanent top for here, just to hide that. When I add some lighting to this yard, and indeed the narrow gauge line, I'm going to try and hide the wiring in here, so that somewhere I can access if any problems arise in the future. Now also down here I fitted the bridge girder. I'm quite happy about this actually, because my first real bit of weathering for a while. I got these from Carnforth Models. I was trying to decide what I could use as a tunnel portal, because beforehand it was just bare stonework, and obviously stonework can't hold itself up, so I needed something to act as a giant lintel, if you like, or bridge side, and I think that done the trick. So just to start with, I dry brushed a bit of Revel rust coloured paint just into the edges here, and then again dry brushed rail match paint sleeper grime, again it's all acrylic paint, and I just roughly rubbed it all in. And then here, where obviously the chimney of a steam engine or the exhaust of a diesel would be, I used a bit of smoke weathering powder. So I might do a bit more, but it's just a bit of an experiment for me really, practice. So I think that looks better. So you've got a bit more grimy here and here, and the same on the other side. And you know, I didn't want to go overboard with it. I wanted it to look used, but at the same time still look grey at the same time. So I think that looks a lot better. I'm debating whether to do another stone wool sheet on another piece of card just to bring it out a little bit, because it looks like, you know, so it's actually sat on the stone rather than in front of it. And I need to work out some sort of edging for here to hide the side of this, but again I want it to be able to lift off. And going back over here, I've only pinned this piece on for now, because again I want to be able to pull this away to get access to the narrow gauge line if I have to. I have got holes in the board, but you can always guarantee the loco will stop where you can't reach. Now coming down to the narrow gauge line, we've got some nice little figures here from they're by Modeloo, and they're from Sawyer Models, already painted up. I think they've done off add to the open cab Hunslet, because it looked a bit lost without it when I've done the review video. And I can just bring New England prints forward. Sorry about the shaky camera. We've got a driver and fireman in here as well. I mean, they looked apart. I mean, I could have painted them myself, but it's one less job for me to do, and I couldn't have done them as good as them, I don't think, anyway. So yeah, I think once we get started on this side, get the museum in, that won't half improve it. And then I've got a few touch-ups to do on this building just to improve that as well. But overall I'm very happy with how it's coming along. Just come across again, I'll show a few clips of the maintenance train. I haven't got it running now obviously because it's very noisy. So this cleans the track. This partly cleans the track, but also has a vacuum cleaner in it. So it sucks up all the loose ballast that didn't glue down, and any dust that ends up on the railway. So it's really useful. This is just an old Bachmann Class 25. It was actually the first digital train set that they brought out, I think. And I got it, I think it was about 2004, 2005 maybe. So the lights and everything don't work on it. It's a bit of a redundant model, but rather than waste it, I use it for the track cleaning trains. I've also got a blue one that's the same, so it still gets used and has a purpose. So I think that's it for now. I'll show a couple of clips of the layout running, and hopefully get another update out soon, and a full running session maybe. So let me know what you think. If you've got any ideas, let me know, and big thank you for watching. Bye for now.